6:30, January 22nd. Reminder to everyone here that the meeting is being digitally recorded, so please be respectful of each other when you're speaking as well as when you're listening. Is there anyone here for open session? Okay. Katie, we'll go to communications and your list.
Alright, we got some fun stuff coming up in February. First of all, Frozen Assets is currently running. Forms can be found in Giacomo's Gourmet Foods, the Stars and Stripes Diner, just combine the two. The Country Trail, Plainview Farm, and the Pizza Palace. They will all be glad to see anyone come in and say hi, but they have forms for all of it. Go in and grab a cup of coffee or some eggs or, you know, some nice warm mittens on days like today down at the Bill Packer Farm. And fill out your form before February 1st. That's when the deadline is. Take 5 guesses on when the outhouse will sink. Hopefully it will still be frozen when it goes onto the ice sometime in the beginning of February, which it should be. It's probably pretty thick at this point from this past week. But yeah.
They're ice fishing already.
I know. So the warm up should be okay.
Nervous.
Well, it's thick enough. But anyway, yeah. So February 1st, get into those stores. Go say hi to all the shop owners. They'll be glad to see you. All right, next up after that, we have the Lions Meat Raffle on February 2nd at 7 p.m. down at the Rod and Gun. They open up the doors and they have lots of meat. Right, Chris? You want to talk about it?
Lots of meat. Doors open at 6:30. Show up at 6:30. Get an early bird ticket. We'll start the first raffle at 7 o'clock. Come down, have some fun, have a good time, win some meat.
All right.
Any lobsters or anything?
There will be a seafood table.
Nice.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
All right. Then after that, the
Love
Senior Center is doing. Actually, I think it's the Council on Aging is doing, which is it's all roundabout the same way. But anyway, they're doing a Valentine's Day luncheon. It's open to all. The monies raised, it's a fundraiser, are going to go towards the deck. It's on February 11th, and you have to go get your tickets in advance. It's the suggested donation per person is $20. They're having minestrone soup, salad, vegetable lasagna or meat lasagna. I'm going with you get a choice. Bread, butter, strawberry shortcake for dessert. They also have, which you do not have to attend, but this is when they'll be drawing it, is a Valentine's Day raffle there. They have gift card trees that, again, they're not selling tickets, they're asking for donations for tickets. You have to word it correctly or else it kind of gets weird. Anyway, so they're asking for donations for tickets. The suggested donation is $5 for 10 tickets, or you get a big old sheet for $10. It's like 25 tickets. But they have a whole bunch of different gift cards that have been either purchased or donated one way or the other, like Kohl's and the Old Mill and a bunch of restaurants like the 99 and Williams, Bass Pro, Red Apple Farm, Papagino's, Asian Gourmet, Buffalo Wild Wings, and then I'm sure a whole bunch of local ones on there as well, because all of our local shops are usually really good about that stuff. So anyway, the actual luncheon is Saturday, February 11th from 12 to 2. Get tickets in advance, $20 per person, and they have the raffle tree, which you get anytime in advance to get in on that. And again, get your tickets in advance to see the Senior Center for that. Okay, after that, we have the Hubbardston Scholarship Committee is also having their Valentine's roast beef dinner, February 17th, 5 to 8 at the Rod and Gun. You can get tickets in advance by calling Flo or Paula Stashkalis. Tickets are $15 for adults and $8 for 8 and under. We're going to be having our roast beef. What else are we making? Mashed potatoes, green beans, mixed veggies, bread, butter, salad, and then we'll have a dessert along with coffee and water and stuff like that, drinks. Like tea and things like that. But anyway, that will be, again, February 17th at the Rod and Gun, 5 to 8, and it's $15 for tickets, 8 for 8 and under. Get your tickets in advance, because again, we fill up quick too. You can buy tickets at the door though. If you miss out, we usually have some leftover spots. So, and then last but not least, for this coming up month in February, there is an ice fishing derby. Yes, at the Rod and Gun. It won't be at the Rod and Gun. It's being hosted by the Rod and Gun. It's February 24th from 7 to 2. You can call them down there and get you need to register or whatever. The actual ice fishing derby will be at Bent's Pond though, aka Sawyer's Pond, the one across the street from Rieta. So when they have those and it goes off, it's usually, that whole pond is packed. I was like, you drive by and it's like, what is going, oh, ice fishing derby, never mind.
Tent City.
Yes, it's like, what in the, Rieta's not open, what's going on? Yeah, so the ice fishing derby, but it's a good time by everyone that I know that have gone. I'm not an ice fishing person, it is too cold for me to sit out there all day. But it's super fun for the people that have gone, they rave about it. So, again, call the Rod and Gun to register yourself and go get your fish on. Alright, and that's all I got for February.
Can you,
Thank you.
remind me,
Yep.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Nope.
No, it's
Remind me of the date of the meat raffle again, the 7th?
No, the second.
February 2nd?
Yep, it's always the first Friday of the month. 7 p.m. Chris said 6:30. Get your early ticket.
6:30, get your early bird ticket.
There you go.
Did it fill up?
Okay,
Well,
Yeah,
thank you, Katie.
Yep.
that's good.
We'll move to, the
Yep.
first item. Yes. Was that Heather?
If I can just add two things real quick. Katie, just to follow up for the scholarship committee, you said buy your tickets in advance. Where does one buy the tickets for the roast beef dinner in advance?
You can get them from me. I do have some. Actually, I have to pick them up. I don't have them this second, but I can get some for you. Or Flo next door to the senior center, or Paula Stashikalis. There is phone numbers on the event and also on the wooden boards at the edge of town on 62 and 68, and then down the Gardner line. There are an actual phone
Okay.
number along with the flyer.
Okay, so if someone wants to grab tickets for that, they can call those.
Yep, Flo and
Okay.
Paula Stashikalis.
And then the second thing I was just gonna add is the library, I think they were supposed to have it this weekend, I don't know if it got canceled because of the facilities issue, but they did, Miss Tricia did do a story time on Saturdays. It's something I had actually asked about, because they do a lot of story times during the week, but working parents don't always have the ability, especially if the kids are in daycare and they're working, to bring their kids at a 10 a.m. story time or 1 p.m. story time during the week. So they did do a weekend one. There was a handful of people there. It was very lovely, but it would be a great thing if we could potentially do one, every month or every couple months, just to kind of get the community together for those who have working parents or kids in daycare. And I think whatever we can do to get the word out so more people know about it, I think it would be a great opportunity for a lot of families in town who may not have the opportunity otherwise. And as of right now, there's not really any other community who does story times on Saturdays or Sundays. Like, they're all during the week, all during the weekday, for all of the surrounding communities, with very few exceptions. So it was a wonderful opportunity for our community to have that, and have Miss Tricia show up to do it, because she has to be around for the Saturday.
Yeah, would that be one of the reasons other communities don't have it, that they just, the personnel aren't working on Saturday?
Well, I think that's part of it, Jeff, but a lot of towns do have libraries that are open on the Saturday. I think it's also just, making sure that, they identify if there's a need or desire for it, and also getting the word out.
Yeah.
Years ago, there used to be a lot more story times. You'd have bookstores that had story times on the weekends and so forth, and there were more opportunities for families. And now if you don't go during the week for one of those story times, and it's not even like you can bebop around throughout the towns to hit all the story times, because they're all like the same day, same time.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? All right then, we will move to our first item, the open space grant application request, and welcome Mark Kresge, if you would like to come sit and make your presentation, we'd be happy to have you.
You really look like someone that used to work here.
Yeah, very familiar.
Coincidence. Mark Kresge, 58 New Templeton Road. I'm following up on your November meeting, which I believe was the last time you discussed the remaining unexpended funds in the ARPA account. And at that point, Nate said that he would look into it further, and the question was whether the line item that had been set aside as seed money for a grant application on accessible trail out at Malone Road would continue, whether that would still, you would stick with that purpose or reallocate the money. So over the last couple months, I've been coordinating with Nate, and I did put together a couple grant applications. What happened the first time around, a grant application went in under an ADA grant program, which was unsuccessful. Yeah, it was a $16,000 line item, and that was gonna be the match on the grant, and didn't come through. But over the last couple months, I've put together new grant applications under the Mass Trails grant program, which we have had a successful grant with that program 3 years ago. We have a very good reputation with them. And I put together some new grant applications, again, using that $16,000 as grant, as seed money. And the end result of that is that in order to maximize our bang for the buck, I actually split it up into two separate grants. But the net result, if they were successful, would be that the $16,000 turns into $116,000 in state funding for two different projects. And we're at the point now where the grants are due to be submitted. So I'm circling back with you to revisit this and see whether that sounds good, and whether you wanna stick with the original plan of using that money as seed money.
Okay.
And we can go through the details on the particular projects being proposed, or we can just stipulate that $100,000 new dollars coming into town for improvements is a good thing.
Mhm. Anyone have any questions?
So, what is the total amount of money you're looking for from ARPA or whatever?
$16,000.
So 16K?
That's what we are, we've already allocated that, that's already earmarked to them from the ARPA money that we got for the
Right.
$16,000.
Okay. So, what's the second part of it? You said there was two separate? Or is this just one item? We're talking about Malone
We're
Road here?
There's a new project in addition to Malone, which would be some flashing beacons at the Ware River Rail Trail out on Williamsville Road. Same dollar amount.
Yeah.
We're just splitting it between the two projects.
So, I see second paragraph says project costs $114,000 with $85,000 requested from the state grant and $29,000 from ARPA.
No.
Yeah, that's what I was questioning, if it's gonna be the same, because it's
Um,
written differently.
The other funding that we're gonna be pursuing is $10,000 in CPA funding.
Can you tell me what this is then? Yeah, have a look. Yeah, you can use my mouse if you want.
Yeah, cause it showed more ARPA money in our packet. So I don't know if something was just a typo.
Yeah, is it the wrong paper there, or?
That was the paper I sent you last week.
Oh, the $29,000
Yeah,
number you're
basically,
talking about?
yeah.
Okay. It's $16,000 from ARPA.
Yeah,
We've got a 10K request in for CPA funding, and
Okay.
the remainder is volunteer labor.
okay,
to
so
represent
which adds up to
project.
29,000,
Okay.
okay, so,
That makes sense
okay. Whew.
Anyone else?
That was my question too, the different ARPA, it looked like it was a different ARPA amount
Yeah,
in there,
no.
I was like,
Yeah,
I'm
we have two
confused.
separate amounts.
Yeah, yeah,
No, we've had those battles
yeah, I
plenty
know,
of times.
I was like, I don't know what's going on here.
So where do you stand on the $10,000 from CPA?
That won't be a firm commitment until the annual town meeting. It's been submitted to the CPC committee to pass on to town meeting in June. Hubbardston's been pretty supportive of things like that in the past through CPA. If it didn't come through for some reason, we have a fallback position of requesting that money through the Hubbardston Preservation Account, which is the shared account between Parks and Rec and Open Space.
And is money
That-
available to
there's about-
cover that 10?
There's 15,000 in that
It's a
account at this
no-brainer.
point.
Do you know the amount in CPA right now?
A good amount.
It's about 40,000 in the open space.
Have there been any
Bucket.
other applications come for anything, like from parks or anything?
Not last I checked, but the deadline was Monday,
Yeah,
last Monday.
It's very recent. The deadline was the 15th,
Okay,
Yeah.
which was Martin Luther King Day. They have not met
yeah,
as
because
of
they
this moment,
don't.
so
Yeah, they're meeting
they're
next
gonna
week.
have to talk about it, and so we can't really speak to any of that until they meet.
No, I'm just curious if there was any other applications, because if that's the only one, I'm not saying that they would be put through, I'm just saying if there's like 15 of them, then that might be a
The
problem.
only other application I heard of was Claudia for more deck money, and I do not
That'd
believe
be a
that was from
different-
the same pool.
Yeah, that'd be a different pool.
Mhm.
And
So-
then Sanda is usually looking for the walking path.
Yeah, but did she put that in?
I'm unsure, they haven't met,
Okay,
so. Sanda's been in Florida and back
back and
and
forth.
I thought there was a cutoff date. Isn't there?
Yeah, there was, so the 15th, that's why,
15th of January?
Yeah,
yeah.
So they can't submit anything then? No.
Well, not anymore, no one
but
can.
we don't know who
It could have
has.
already been submitted.
Submitted,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
It's also one of the reasons we're meeting tonight, because we canceled last week
Yeah.
because of the weather, and they would have.
So they could have submitted, we just don't know about it yet.
Right.
Mhm.
So,
Right. So all they're looking for is if we're on board with this, is to authorize them to apply.
mhm.
Yeah, that's basically where we're at.
Right.
The town needs to provide permission for the work to occur on town-owned land. Nate can sign that as your designee,
Mm-hmm.
as long as.
So
you're
when
on
do we
board with
find
the
out
general
about these
concept.
2 grants that you applied for?
Mr.
It'll
Chairman,
be June.
I don't know if Heather raised her hand.
Okay.
Heather?
I just wanted to chime in real quick. I think these are both excellent projects. When we originally had the ARPA meeting and allocated the money, this is what we were thinking, is that they would eventually, or the town would be able to leverage the funds with a grant to be able to get some good returns and give back to the community. I think they're both great projects, and I'm very much in support of both of them in this application.
Thank you.
And the reality is, if all we're doing is giving him permission to go after an application, it basically.
Him and his committee.
Yes, obviously. Not just him, yeah, no, it's not just Mark.
No brainer.
But yeah, it's like it doesn't really affect too much, cause there's still a whole bunch of other stuff in play that's totally out of our control.
And it doesn't hurt the bottom line.
No.
So, could we have a
No.
motion? Thank you.
Yeah,
Wait a minute, what is, I mean, what's the question here? We've allocated $16,000 of ARPA funds to you, you're here to confirm we don't pull that back, which it doesn't sound like we wanna do. You've got 2 grants pending to make up the
No, that's
additional
what he's
funds.
asking
No, he's
for.
asking for.
Permission.
Us to authorize him to apply for these grants.
Oh, that's what you wanna do?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, cause he can't do it.
And
No.
I'll have to
Without-
sign stuff on your behalf
Okay.
stating that it can happen on town-owned land.
Okay.
So are we ready for a motion? All right. so
Alright,
good.
this is official now.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see if I can get it right without glasses on. I move that we authorize Mark Kresge and the Open Space Committee to apply for the state open space grant as outlined tonight, and further to ask the town administrator to continue working with the finance team to ensure the feasibility and utilization, Jesus, why you give this to me, Bill? The feasibility of utilizing town funds for the required matching portions to be reimbursed.
Thank you.
There we go.
Motion is made, is there a second?
Second.
And second. Any discussion? Excuse me. Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Future,
carried.
bigger print.
Okay.
Old lady
Thank you,
print, let's
Mark.
go.
Thank you very much.
I am gonna continue making notes there.
That's fine, make a big old lady
So,
print.
Thanks for coming,
Mark
Mark.
spoke with Mary
Good to see you,
today.
by the way.
The
How's it going? Good?
potential
Yeah,
amount
it is
of money
going
that
well.
we would need to kind of float out